It's like when opportunity meets preparation meets
Yes.
Monica. Okay, because
Yeah.
that's how you got referred to us. So everybody
Yeah.
watching and listening, this is Vicky.
Hey everyone.
She's one of our interns from the CRC Academy, actually. And she's a completely remote intern for us. She's in basically King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. We're in Yuma clinical trials, but she's already been super helpful. You were actually recruited by two people, right? Not
Yeah.
just Monica,
No.
but Samantha as well. We gotta
Yeah.
give Samantha a huge shout out for all the help she's been doing with
Yeah.
us. And I know she watches and listens. So Samantha, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Okay. I think she's already subscribed, but make sure you like and comment so that we see you on here. But yeah, they both of them said Vicky, because Samantha went on to get another job, but she's still gonna work remotely for us, part-time. And we knew that we would need someone else. So that's when I asked them, who else do you know, like from the class, who else do you think can do what you're doing, Samantha? And she said, like right away, she said, Vicky, she's in my class. I don't know if you guys were teammates or whatever. And then I asked Monica also, and Monica
Yeah.
said, oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
it was a very, very good class, and we were both participating. We were not team, not we were not on the same team, but we were both
oh,
participating in
you were
class. So
rivals.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Okay.
Ex- oh no.
So
No.
give us your background, Vicky? Like you know, career and
Yes.
why you wanted to do research.
Well, I'm from Argentina and I got my degree there. So I started with chemistry and then with biotechnology. And we have a final project, a thesis. So you have to do a work during a year. And I was looking in Argentina, we have a lot of biotechnology, but for agriculture, like transgenic soy. And I was
Wow.
looking for human health. I was really interested in human health. So I choose my subject for my thesis to work with bones. I work with rats. We were studying about the effect of fluoride in bones related to diabetes. It's a long to explain, but that was the short version of it. And then when I finished that, I was looking for a job, and my city, it was not full of companies. So I applied for this opportunity in the University of North Carolina. It was a 1 year opportunity, and they hired me. I was
Wait,
a
so where
lab
did you
technician.
come? You came from Argentina to North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you were sitting at home in Argentina. You said, you know what, I'm gonna apply
Yes.
uh, in the United States. And how did I get questioned all the time from people that want
Yeah.
to immigrate, and I don't know how to answer their question.
So you have to look for opportunities, right? So I on the website in my university, they have like a link that you can see job opportunities. And there was a guy that he studied with in my same college that moved to North Carolina, and he was working for the genetic department in Chapel Hill. And he said, "Hey, I need a lab technician
Hmm.
who wants to come. I will show you the way." So he interviewed me online, all remote, and he asked for references. And then I had to apply on the university website because it was an open job position. So
Sure.
I applied, so they accept me. All that period was like 6 months. They asked me for my paperwork, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
And yeah. And then I applied for a J1 visa. It was a research visa. It was very specific for that job, that university. I couldn't do anything else. Like I
did they
couldn't
help you do
study.
this? Did they help
The
you do
uni-
this?
yes, the university gave the papers that says like a letter that says we hire you for a year with this type of research.
Okay.
And then you go to the embassy and you apply for that visa. They can say no, like the embassy can say no, but
Sure.
so with that visa, it can be extended up to 5 years. So once I arrived to the US in North Carolina, beautiful place, perfect place to be when you're a scientist, North Carolina. And then after a year, it was a big project. And my boss asked me to stay another year and then another year. And then I end up staying 4 years until the pandemic hit. And they closed the lab because we were not essential.
Okay.
We were working with human brains with Alzheimer's and addictions. So we were not considering that time essential, so they closed the lab. And I was super sad because I felt frustrated. Like, I know how to do a PCR. I have the lab, just use me. But yeah, So they closed the lab, I got married, and I moved to another city in North Carolina. So in my new city, there were not many universities or science places to apply for a job. So I started working for a dialysis center. They trained me and I learned a lot how to work with patients. That was like my boom with clinical. I was
patient
like,
interaction.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, I love science. I love knowing the why of the things, like the reason why is this happening. But at the same time, with the pandemic, I wanted to be more like Hamilton says. I want to be in the room when it happens. I want to be close to them. Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
I want to be in the room when it happens. Yeah. Dialysis was hard. It was a small town. It was a military town, southern small town. It was hard for them to see a new girl, like, hey, what is this new girl? She has an accent. Does she go to church? They were like, come more at the beginning.
What city is this in North Carolina?
Jacksonville, North Carolina. Have you heard? They have a base there, a military base.
Okay. I've been all over North. I've been to Charlotte. I've been to Raleigh. I've been to Winston-Salem. I've been
Okay,
to.
this is close to Wimbledon, like
I've
an
been
hour
there.
away.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay,
that's a
between Wimbledon,
city.
Yes, between Wimbledon and the Outer Banks.
Oh,
sort of say.
Okay.
Yeah, they have this military town. My husband was working there, so I had to apply because I'm not a US citizen. I couldn't work in the base. So I had to apply for jobs. Like, I have to be creative. I don't quit. I never quit. So I was like, I had to find a way. And it was a great experience. It was hard, but it was great. At the end, they loved me. I loved them. I was so sad to leave them. So, and my husband got another offer and we moved to Pennsylvania. So now we are here.
And your husband's in a completely different industry?
Yes, he's an industrial engineer. And yeah, he works for a company. Yeah, nothing related to.
No, but there's
research.
still a lot of similarities. So basically your, I guess your educational background kind of helped, you have the background in biotechnology, so you got into lab research, and then the pandemic shut that down. And then, well, that actually got you to the United States, the fact that you had a background in biotech. So this is good. And then you discover after the dialysis, how did you discover like clinical research? Were they doing clinical research there at that dialysis center?
So my first knowledge of clinical research was actually in the university that I was working for, because it was med school. I was working for genetic department of med school. So they have a lot of flyers for volunteers if they want to participate. So I always join. If I feel the requirements, I always join as a volunteer for many of the studies. So I already knew how it works a little bit. And then in this dialysis center, they didn't do specific clinical research, but they're DaVita. You know DaVita? They are
of course. They're everywhere. There's
they're
one
everywhere.
here
So
across the street.
exactly, some of the big ones, they do clinical
They
research
do, yeah.
in kidney. Not that one specifically, but I knew about that.
Okay.
So that was another that was in my mind also.
They
Yeah,
do. They have a big research because they're nationwide. So yeah, they do a good amount
yeah,
of research.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I
research,
yeah.
how did you Google? Like, it's one thing to know about it, especially from an academic perspective. And it's another thing to want, like you said, to be in the room where it happened. So what did you do? Like you Google or what did you do?
So there were two things. One was my personal life, my emotional. It was the first time I really felt the difference coming from a subdevelopment country with the vaccine. I had a family member who died 1 week before receiving the vaccine. At the
Mm.
same time, in the US, everyone has access to the vaccine. So that I was like so mad. I was like, I want to help. How can I participate in this? And the second part was because I was living close to Wimbledon, the company PPD.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you do? What is clinical research? I start asking people, my friends who work there, like, hey, I'm interested in this. And I tried to apply and they say, oh, well, you don't have clinical research experience. You need 2 years. So that was my two references, like one big company who does clinical research, another my personal experience, and they mixed and I want to do this. So because I didn't have experience, I went to the local hospital and I say, hey, I want to volunteer, I want to shadow, what do I need to do? And because of COVID, they were not accepting volunteers.
Yeah.
They were not accepting external people, just and so I went to the community college and then I started taking classes like medical terminology, and I was trying to find a way uh, to enter and learn more about it.
And how did you end up doing it? Because most people would give up at that point and say, well, they want 2 years of experience, so I don't have
Well,
it.
I applied for the dialysis center, but before that I was applying to everything that I could find that they didn't ask me for a certificate, because they asked me like, you need a phlebotomist state certificate. So while I was looking for a community college to do that, I applied for blood donation center and the dialysis center. So I started working in the dialysis one. It was my favorite because they train you. So I was like, yeah, this is my place because I need training. So that was my option to get the experience. And before that, I didn't tell you this. In North Carolina, I couldn't apply for other jobs besides the one that I was working, but I was volunteer as a Spanish translator in a farm hospital. So that was another experience that I had that changed my mind too.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
And then you ended up in the CRC Academy. Did that
Yes.
work?
How? Because of Latinos in clinical research.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Because
how I find
specifically
them.
of that channel. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What were
I
you
don't know.
searching to find Latinos in clinical research?
Don't ask me. I don't remember.
That's crazy.
I, I was at UNC, at University of North Carolina. I was volunteer for SAGNAS, is Society for Advancing Hispanics into Science. So I
Huh.
was I was involved in many of Hispanic and minorities science associations. So I always find information on LinkedIn. I don't remember how.
So Latinos in clinical research, amazing. And then
Yeah.
from that, you discovered Monica, and I'm
Yes.
sure the rest is
You.
history. Yeah.
Yeah.
And me later after
Yeah.
all of that. Okay, perfect, perfect. And now you're just starting your internship, so you're going to be helping us on two studies,
Yeah.
and one study is already screening, the other one we're waiting to screen our first patient.
Yeah.
And you're looking for remote work, but the internship, it'll be good to follow your journey, for the Guru Nation. um, and what are some of the things you've learned already? I know you've only done what, 2 weeks of internship? What are
Yeah.
some things you've learned already?
Well, we learned about the Creo. What the it's a website where you can.
They're gonna love you, Creo. Raymond's gonna love you. The owner of Creo.
Yeah, do you think so? Yeah, I learned that every single in the class you heard things, but until you don't do it on your own, it's hard to understand. So right now I'm understanding like how specific regulatory can be. Like every paper has to be signed, everything. So I'm learning like how careful you have to be, every word and every title, and how organized you have to be. So that's something I'm practicing right now. I'm a very organized person, but
Oh,
I
you
didn't
are.
realize how the importance of it. Yeah,
It's
of
good.
it.
It's
Yeah.
good. I'm surrounding myself with very organized people. You,
Well,
Desiree said that she's very organized. My
yeah,
wife, super organized, and then Samantha. So yeah, this is good. We need more of that in the human clinical trials.
yeah. Thank you.
Awesome, Vicky. So we're gonna keep doing follow-ups with you, but thank you so much for sharing your story. And I'm
Thank you.
glad that Latinos in clinical research is actually
Oh yeah, it's
making an
great.
impact out there.
Every Tuesday, I love the talks about. Yeah, I love them.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, Vicky. If anybody wants to
Mhm.
reach out to Vicky, her LinkedIn profile is underneath. Um, we have to put Yuma Clinical Trials on your LinkedIn, right? We'll think of a title, a good title for you, remote coordinator or something.
Okay.
Um, all right. Thank you, Guru Nation. Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening, like, subscribe, comment, share. Catch y'all later. Bye bye.